Boys.
Cali King.
In the morning.
Eric V. Nick V.
Oh yeah. Wednesday morning. Let me see here. July 24th, 2019. Nick V, Eric V, Baka Boyz in here.
Oh, yes.
It's time to get it in.
It is time. We have special guests in the house.
Yep.
Let's welcome you, Baka Boyz style. Here we go. Come on.
Hey, well, it's the Baka, baby. It's the Baka Boyz in the morning. In the morning, it's the Baka Boyz. And we got some special guests for you. They represent the Latin Film Festival in Los Angeles, International Film Festival.
Yeah.
The one and only Edward James Olmos and Eric V.
Raphael. You gonna say his last name? You say it. I messed it up earlier.
What happened to a Mexican?
Agustin.
Agustin.
You're
See?
terrible. You're terrible.
See, I told you, man. I asked him right when he got. How do you say your last name?
And you're trying to make me embarrassed because you're embarrassed.
No, I wasn't embarrassed.
That's exactly what you're trying to do.
Not at all, man.
It's all good. We have these two gentlemen in the house. You guys have the International Latino. Tell me the Latin Film Festival International is going to be running here, coming up very, very soon here. It starts next week. Next
July
Wednesday.
31st.
Yeah, for an entire week or like 7 days. Tell me about this, guys. This is year number 2 here.
Now, we've been doing this since 1998.
Oh, snap.
Yeah. And then what happened? Oh, by the way, I'm
Edward
George
James.
Lopez. Come on, everybody thinks I'm Edward James Olmos. What's wrong with you guys?
George Lopez, you're in disguise today as Edward James Olmos.
Exactly.
Thanks for coming today, guys.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having us.
I think we're kind of nervous, actually, to have you such a
please.
icon in the
I'm
studio
nervous.
with us.
Wait, he called me the cleaning guy earlier.
Well, you were outside cleaning the window. Yeah. I walk in and say, hey, man, I got to get inside the building. And you say, hey, man, you're on time.
Yeah.
On time? I said, I only got like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
He goes, don't worry about it. I go, oh, wow. He's telling me not to worry
The
about
cleaning
it.
guy is telling you not to worry.
I walk in here and it's Eric. Chinga me dieron ustedes, carajo.
Carajo. It's since 1998, though.
Yeah, we started in 1998. I founded it back with Marlene Dermer, George Hernandez, and Kirk Whistler and myself. The 4 of us got together and started it up, and it's been going ever since. We stopped it for like 3.5, 4 years almost.
Okay.
While we advanced the Youth Cinema Project.
Yes.
Ya ves mi camisa?
Yes, that's dope. I've seen a couple of kids. I've seen Rafael. I've seen your Instagram. You've seen the kids up there. So let's get into it real quick. For everybody who don't know what's going on here, the Los Angeles Latino International Film Festival is going to be running Wednesday, July 31st through the through Sunday, August 4th at TCL Chinese Theater. As the largest Latinx film festival this year, will shine the spotlight on the U.S.-born Latinx film festival filmmakers. Now, I want to ask you, I want to get into the Latinx because it's still kind of mysterious to a lot of folks out there. We've heard Latina, we've heard Latino, and now we're hearing Latinx. And you guys are jumping in on this, so please help me with this.
We're just a place where we're inclusive for all people. This is truly the home of Latinx storytellers. What we have at La Leaf this coming week is 15 feature films,
nice.
10 directed by women, which is incredible. Damn. 17 short films, 5 episodic original TV programs, 1 sneak peek of upcoming Latinx shows, including Gentified, which is coming out on Netflix.
Nice.
And 2 live podcasts. One with the creator of the Selena series that's coming out on Netflix with Locatora Radio, and then one with Spoilers podcast, and that's with our boy Eddie G, who co-created On My Block on Netflix.
Awesome. Nice.
So essentially, La Leaf is just the home of all Latinx storytellers, and Latinx because we are Latino, we are Latina, we're non-binary, we're all inclusive.
So, Raphael, you have an interesting story yourself. Can you explain your story in general, how you came to be, the undocumented and the whole thing? Can you let them know your story and what you walked through? And now you're a writer for Jane the Virgin and many other things, and your life story is being used for a series or something, right? Or something?
Yeah, my story in a nutshell is I was basically nobody until I met Edward James Olmos, and he gave me purpose in my life. Thank you very much. Holla.
Thank you, George Lopez.
I know, that's what I say every time. Thank you, George.
So I was on, when I was in high school, I was the class president, the prom king, the top 10% of my class, and then I applied to go to college and discovered I was undocumented. I didn't know I was undocumented, and I think this story is very
familiar
common today.
It's very relevant,
yeah.
especially today.
And it was actually this story that I developed into a TV show that I'm currently selling. Gina Rodriguez is my executive producer. I'm working with CBS.
Nice.
That got me staffed on Jane the Virgin. And all that work, I was very busy when Mr. Olmos called me and was like, you should see what we're doing with the Youth Cinema Project. I was like, I am on my own Hollywood hustle. I got no time for this. Then I went...
You turned him down?
Well, you know, turn down Edward James Olmos. Let me just tell you. Because he kept bugging me. And then I went... He made me go to a class, and I saw 9-year-olds do the work that I didn't get to do till I got to college.
Oh.
And I nearly cried because I knew right then and there that's how we change Hollywood.
Right.
So that's essentially what we've been working on. This is what Mr. Olmos has founded, the Youth Cinema Project. And the Youth Cinema Project was able to bring back La Leaf, which is ironic because La Leaf was born... I mean, the Youth Cinema Project was born out of the Los Angeles Latino International Film Festival.
Gotcha.
That's beautiful.
Man.
So, Edward, let's talk about the Youth Cinema Project real quick. Excuse me, George. Exactly.
All right.
And you say how we change Hollywood is going to the youth, you know, starting from the very beginning. Tell me about the inception of that. Where'd you get this idea, sir?
Back when we started in 1998, we started immediately into inviting the young people to come to the theater to watch film. Now, we are Latino Film Festival,
right?
The largest Latino international film festival in the world. We've cut back so that we still are, even with the amount
cutbacks.
Even with the cutbacks of the amount of time, because we usually do 7 to 10 days.
Okay.
And we're only doing 5 right now.
Okay.
And last year we did 4. And then, so what it is that we brought the kids there and we sat them down, and teachers freaked out because we sat them down and we had grammar school kids, junior high kids, high school kids, and college kids. And for each group that we brought in, we would show them appropriate film for that age range.
Okay.
Okay. But they were all in Spanish. Orale.
So what happened?
Well, what happens, you got to read the subtitles if you don't speak Spanish.
Okay.
Well, what ended up happening is the teachers ended up saying, what a program this is. This is incredible. I can't make my kids sit down and read for 2 hours.
Why do you think that they were so engaged with it?
Because of the images.
Okay.
They wanted to know what was going on in the movie, so they would, you know, for those that spoke Spanish, they read in English to see if the translation was correct.
Right.
And those that didn't speak Spanish would read the translation to see what they were saying. So what happened is that they were investing time into the images that they were experiencing. What ended up happening is that they were speaking, and they were learning, and they were reading.
At the same time?
At the same time. And so what ended up happening is that teachers started to bombard us. They started coming in, then Metro decided to say, okay, anybody that's on our transit from South Central, our line, can jump on the train free.
To come to the
film
project.
festival, yeah.
Okay.
So they started busing, not busing, but literally bringing in the kids by Metro. And then it just exploded. So what we did is that we started then to have them write stories throughout the year coming. This was, there's teachers that were working with us.
Okay.
Would then have them write little stories, and so they would bring them, and then we would have writers there. So the process went from reading to writing, okay? By the year 2003, close, really wonderful people, one of them especially, came in and started 2003 and started taking the process of filmmaking, the whole concept of filmmaking, into the schools. And I supported the transition, and I gave them funding to be able to move into this understanding. And that what they did is 2003, we started teaching kids how to make film. Not only reading the sub or writing the story,
but producing the actual film.
Everything.
Lighting, filming.
Everything.
Sound, editing.
We found out that we would go into the classroom, and to this day, this is the formula. We go into the classroom with 2, okay, mentors.
Okay.
Filmmakers.
Yeah.
Usually advanced graduates from either NYU or AFI or SC or UCLA film departments. You know, they come in, they graduate from their classes, and they go and they're trying to make it in the industry.
Right.
But it's kind of hard to get your
get a
footing
break
at the beginning. So what do? They have to wait on tables. They have to become who they are. They have to go on and really work.
In the real world,
in the
yes.
real world. Well, we created a system where we now pay them $40 an hour to come and help teach the kids. And we bring them in for 90 minutes twice a week.
That's awesome.
Into the classroom. Now, we're not talking about an after-school special. We're not talking about 1 month, 2 months of we're talking about the whole class year.
Yeah.
From the beginning of the class, from the school starts to the day it ends, we are in that classroom with the teacher. So kids have three teachers in there teaching them about film, right? And we teach the teacher what we're teaching, and then they help us in the perspective. But the mentors are the ones who control the room.
Right.
And how they control the room is by making the students accept the understanding of what it is that it takes to make a film. And I mean from the conception of idea to writing the synopsis, the treatment, then moving on to doing the script, and then from the script into production.
That's awesome.
And all of production. I'm talking about all of it. I'm talking about wardrobe, I'm talking about makeup, I'm talking about locations, I'm talking about lighting, I'm talking about gripping, I'm talking about all of the production. They learn it all of them do.
How does that feel for you to see a project
makes
that you
you
spun,
cry.
right? Makes you
No, this is the single, as the Stanford University assessment came in. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, Agustin?
Yeah, so we hired Scale, the most important assessment program in the United States. They're based out of Stanford University. They came in and saw the work that we do, and they were blown away because they think we're in the forefront of public education.
Yeah.
Because what they're finding in their own research is that children, especially children of color, can't begin to learn until they build families, until they build safe spaces and basically a safe learning environment. And what we do with the Youth Cinema Project, by forcing them to make films, by collaborating, communicating together, they build families and they can begin to learn right away.
Right.
So have you guys had any parents come to you and talk to you?
The PTA, everybody comes to us and they say, why didn't my children, because we could only be in X amount of classrooms because they're still experimenting with us. And so the school system, we are now in 13 school districts in California.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
We have now more than 1,400 students inside the program, and it's growing by leaps and bounds.
So
awesome.
Arizona wants it, Texas wants it, Georgia wants it, Florida wants it, New York wants it. Panama wants it, Mexico wants it, Spain wants it. Also, they want it in Canada. This thing it's become what AFI did, the American Film Institute, came in to see the program. And they were kind of, they were doing me a favor. And so they came in and they brought in all of the heads of the departments of all the school, okay? All of them. And they were going to be there for 10 minutes. Well, after 90 minutes and wiping tears off of their eyes because they were caught. They were caught with an understanding of realizing what it was that was happening in that room. They saw, 9-year-old kids, exhibiting total understanding of the fundamentals of filmmaking. Wow. You had the director, you had the producer, you had the DP, you had, all the crafts, all the departments. They were all sitting around, they were discussing the films. And, they weren't doing it for the audience that were sitting there watching. No, they were doing it for themselves to make their movie.
Yeah.
So they were making their movie. Well, the head of the school says, Ed, this program is what, we have been looking for the 21st century teaching
tools
process.
Yeah.
We need them. What do? We're still teaching the way we taught in the 20th century, which is just steps ahead of what they did in the 19th century. And so they were saying, this is it, Eddie. Yeah. You've got it. And I said, oh, thank you, man. He says, and one of the professors said, well, this is what we do. This is what we teach
for college.
This is what we teach at AFI. Oh, and one of our mentors says, but we're doing it in grammar school, to ninth graders. And what happened is that AFI, American Film Institute, ends up saying to us, we want to bring this and augment it and bring it out to the world with you guys. I said, well, that's cool. He says, but it's not going to be under the AFI umbrella. Mm-hmm. It's a Latino Film Institute project, which then comes about. And I said, you got to understand this, okay, Bob Gazelle, you got to understand this. You guys need to make sure that you help us have a step in understanding that Latinos are giving something to the United States of America and to the world.
Yes.
We don't get any credit for anything.
Anything.
So that being said, okay, you know, he understood it and he said to me, I understand now they're with us. But
They're on board.
this is not a AFI situation. This is a Latino situation. And we're not just for Latinos. I mean, we're for everybody.
You're all welcome.
Anybody can come to see this.
Yeah.
And all of the different cultures, anybody can use it. What it does is it teaches kids self-esteem, self-respect, and self-worth at such a high level that you cannot give it teaching chemistry. You can't give it teaching history. You can't give it teaching English. You can't give it teaching biology or mathematics. You do not get critical thinking, communication, creativity, and collaboration.
So what the program does is the self-advocacy, the leadership. You can't unlearn that, right? Once a student learns to find their voice, it's quite remarkable.
It's there.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys, both of you guys, you know, doing this program and actually reaching out to these kids at a young age, obviously when they're most impressionable, that's when their creativity is wide open. It's open. They're just soaking in all this knowledge, you know, especially Edward being in the business for 50 years plus. Have you seen anything from any of these young up-and-coming producers, writers, anything that has impressed you so much? You're like, oh my God, this guy's going to be, or this girl's going to be the next whatever.
Please do yourself a favor, a big one. Come to the Latino International Film Festival from, it's July 31st through August 4th and see 15 of the most advanced films being done by Latinx filmmakers, and more than 10 of them of the 15 are women. And you're going to see an explosion coming. That's what, let me tell you, people say, you know, why haven't we been able to move? And nos tienen miedo. Okay, that means they're afraid of us. Why are they afraid of us? Well, for one reason, there's so many of us. We dominate the Western Hemisphere. We're going to dominate the United States. Within 50 years, the dominant culture in the United States of America will be Latino. But Latinos are black, white, brown, yellow, red.
Yeah,
they're all the cultures.
Mixed, yeah.
Yeah, because Latinos like to make love to everybody.
Oh, right. The Latin lovers, baby.
That's it.
Come on.
And so basically what it is, it means the only thing that they have is trying to do what the government is trying to do right now, what this administration is trying to do. Stop the influx of Latinos. Stop them. Stop them by, putting them down, stopping them at the border, stopping them any kind of growth process, marking them, making them understand that they are less than people who are Caucasian.
Putting their mind in a box.
I'm sorry, man.
Literally.
That's what they're doing. And the people who are not of ethnicity in respects of understanding one thing, I can't believe this. We do not understand that the root of all humanity is African. Mm-hmm. We don't understand that. I mean, it's been proven 1,000 times over, and we all know it, but least of us accept it.
Right.
And the ones who least accept it are actually the indigenous people. They know we come from this space,
this area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we were not from someplace. We are from here. They don't realize the immigration of what it took to get out of Africa. We come from Africa. Humanity does.
The birthplace.
Yes, of humanity. Period, guys. From there, you get the Asians, you get the Caucasians, you get the Latinos, you get the, everyone. The indigenous, you get everybody. Mm-hmm. And they're a mixture. And it's already been proven, man. You look at the DNA strand, you look at genome, look at everything. There's very few differences between you and myself. Anybody in this room, male or female. Our genetic structure, the way that we're set up, we are human beings. And the key to the whole thing is that we realize that we are one race, and that is the human race.
That's right.
And inside of the human race, there are beautiful cultures. Yes, there are African cultures, there are Caucasian cultures, there are Latino cultures, there are indigenous cultures, we are everything. Now, that being said, there's a big difference between a Guatemalan and a Mexican.
Totally.
There's a huge difference between a Japanese and a Korean. There's even bigger ones between, Irish and English. Mm-hmm. Okay? So all of a sudden you start saying, well, yeah, of course there is, Ed, but there are different races. No, there's not. There's only one race. One human race,
different
period.
skin colors, different cultures, different food, different music, different rhythms, but we're all human.
Human beings first, and the day that we took the word race and made it a cultural determinant, the day we took that word and made it a cultural determinant, that means you're Latino race, you're African race, you are Caucasian race, okay, you are indigenous race, okay, Asian race. When you start to say that,
segregation.
You're dividing.
Yep.
The word race is a unifying word. We use it as a divisive word. It divides us, and that's what happened. And the reason we did that is because over 600 years ago, the Caucasian culture decided to turn around and say, well, we're different than them. That way that we're not killing our own race. They're different. They're different than us. So that it was easier to kill the other.
Yeah.
Because we were able to understand that they were not us. But we are. When you kill somebody, a human being, you're killing yourself.
Killing your brothers and your sisters.
Exactly.
Edward James Olmos in the studio with us. Raphael Agustin in the studio with us. La Leaf is happening. The Latino International Film Festival is going to be running July 31st through the Sunday, August 4th. And like they said, we have 15 feature films, 17 shorts, 5 episodics, 2 special events, and 2 Latinx podcasts live from the festival. That's going to be a lot of fun.
And remember, a lot of it is free.
Okay.
You don't have to pay to get in, man. You can come and watch all. There's how many? 93.
La Leaf Legacy on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday. You get to come and watch for free with your family in the community all of the student films produced during the Youth Cinema Project throughout the school year.
Oh,
so
nice.
even the students are going to be part of the professional environment of International Film Festival.
Wow, that's great.
And what they do is they're 3-minute films, guys. Okay, so you can say, "Oh my God, 93 films." I don't know what you can say.
They're shorts.
They're very short.
Okay.
1 3-minute, 2.5 3-minute. Grammar school, junior high is 5-minute. High school is 7 minutes.
Okay.
And they'll be there, and the filmmakers will be there, and there's nothing you won't believe. You bring your kids, you bring your family, you bring your grandkids, you bring kids to sit there to watch the kids stand up after they finish watching their films. We get them all and we put them in front of the audience, and they sit there and they're all dressed with their ties and everything. And they sit there and they go, "I'm the producer. I directed it. Okay, I'm one of the writers. You know, we did sound, we did DP. I was a DP." Director of photography. They all announce where they come from and the name of their movie
and what role they played on the movie.
Yes. Yeah. And then you'll see them and they're like, they're like us. They'll sit there and go, "Yes, okay," and they'll ask the audience will ask them questions. Why did you choose this? How did you do this? What camera did you use? And you hear them. And they're, 9 years old. Yes. And you see the confidence, and especially amongst women. I'm not kidding you. The young girls are the ones they were quiet. Teachers say, "I can't believe this program." They say, "Eddie, this program is unbelievable," because, there's kids in here that have never spoken in class for the last 4 years. They're shy. They sit in the back. They don't talk. And then people who don't speak English start to speak English.
Wow.
That's
life-changing.
It builds, communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and more than anything, creativity. And when you get the 4 common core resources pushing forward, they'll never lose it. I don't think that 95% of these kids are ever going to be making a quote-unquote a movie. I don't think they're going to be filmmakers. I don't. But they'll never forget
what their experience is.
Of course. Yeah. And what it does, it opens them up to being able to use those critical thinking, the communication, collaboration, creativity. They get to use it as being lawyers, doctors, whatever they choose to be.
Yeah.
They're going to use those tools. And the ability for them, every student that has come out of our program that goes to the 5th grade and goes into a normal class, 5th grade teachers say, the kids that came out of this classroom are different than the kids that came to me from the other 4th graders. Mm-hmm. And that's why people now, like I said, the PTAs are complaining because why did a lot of parents say, why wasn't my kid allowed to be? I have a 4th grade kid. How come he didn't get that?
And what do you say to him?
Well, tell the school.
Yeah.
Tell the school. We have a process, and that process is to really start to move this thing so that every single 4th grade class in the United States of America in the public school system gets to have this class in their structure as part of their education.
We definitely support that.
Oh yeah, no, this is the future. The future is in our own hands, and the future is to allow these kids to have learning processes that comes by way of understanding how to use themselves and how to use themselves efficiently to build their self-esteem, self-respect, and self-worth.
Once again, the Latino International Film Festival. Now, how can people get tickets, Raphael?
You go to latinofilm.org, find out all information for tickets, screenings. Listen, if you got no money, come volunteer. If you have a lot of money, come sponsor us.
Yeah.
But latinofilm.org is how you get tickets and passes. And just adding to everything that Mr. Olmos said, I wanted to point out that it's very important that we in our community get to tell our stories. And that's what we do at La Leaf. We get to tell our stories because stories is the bridge between our community and the rest of the United States. And in this political climate, it's very important that we build bridges and not walls.
Speaking of stories, you have a movie that you guys are featuring, The Infiltrators. Tell us about that a little bit.
Yeah, our opening night film, The Infiltrators, is a Sundance Audience Award winner, and it's the true story. It was made by U.S. Latinos, and it's a true story about dreamers that infiltrated immigrant detention camps to help set people free.
Damn.
Wow.
That's deep.
Unbelievable.
Deep. Yeah.
That starts it.
That's our opening night. And then our closing night is actually a very special screening done by an incredible filmmaker by the name of Edward James Olmos.
What is this film?
Tell us about this guy.
It's the premiere of my new film that I just finished, and I was grateful that I finished it in time for it to be in the film festival. And then they said to us, the crew said, let's close with it.
Yeah.
And it's a movie that really is quite an experience because it's happening right now as we're speaking right this second. As we speak, this is happening. And what it is the contamination of water in the Central Valley of California right this second. And it's seeping into all of our food system. And they were supposed to stop doing this in 2018. They still haven't stopped it. They're still doing it in 2019. And right now, I'll tell you this right now, when you see this movie, you're not going to believe it.
So
you're going to say, and it's not like Aaron Brockovich.
Okay.
It's not a ooh my God. No, it's funny. It's got humor. There's so much truth in it that you end up saying to yourself, how could this be possible? That's exactly what we want.
We got to see
it. That's the closing night movie. Yeah.
Okay.
And there's still tickets available for that, but please hurry up because that movie, we have, I think, 500 seats.
Yeah, that's going to sell out quick.
So, and by the way, that right now, what you just heard on this right now, the Baka Boyz with Eric and Nick is an exclusive. This is the first time we've ever said anything about what was going to close our festivals. Ladies and gentlemen, people who are just right now listening to us live, coming to you from the Baka Brothers. The dream is here.
That's right.
You are watching and listening to
Wait a minute.
Eric and Nick. The height of understanding of music, soul, and inspiration. Eric, Nick, Baka Brothers. Yeah.
I love it.
Órale pues, que le voy a echar mis trapos. ¿Saben qué, carnal? Estas garras me las planté porque me dijeron que iban a estar aquí. Órale pues. Don't take the pinche play so seriously, carajo.
I love it, man. Congratulations to you guys, man. And thank you very much for doing this. There's not a lot of people that are setting up in the community. You've been around for a long enough time to know that we have to do something. And you have not only the cojones to do it, but you also have the backing and you have the foundation. When you stand up and you say something, Edward, people listen.
People listen.
So thank you very much for doing this.
I pray to God that you guys will continue to talk about this festival throughout the next few days and when we're leading right in there. And I hope that you guys will come and maybe even do a live transportation of what's happening there on opening night and maybe closing night. Say, we're here. We're at the Latino International Film Festival. Aquí estamos. We're doing it. Órale pues. Guacha mi tacuche, carajo.
I love it. This is awesome.
Man.
Well, hope that you guys come back again.
You invite us. We're here.
Wait. I don't want to leave yet now because I'm finding Edward's humor right now. So I want to ask Raphael, hanging out with Edward, what are some of the funny things that he does that you don't expect him to do? out of nowhere? Besides his his different voices he's doing here and there. Does he do anything like that, playing around?
Man, how you gonna put me on the spot like that?
Come
That's
on,
terrible.
I have to ask.
This is my boss and mentor. I will say that everything Mr. Olmos says has so much gravitas to it. Even when we order like food, he'll like, yeah, I'll get the Big Mac. You know, that's like that's intense. I love that. But what I think is beautiful about everything Mr. Olmos has done, he came into our collective consciousness by portraying Jaime Escalante, right?
Yes.
He, like, essentially the man who argued that children will rise to the level of expectation. And many, many years later, he's doing the same exact thing, but not with math, with film. With what he said, with 21st century learning, revolutionizing what public education can be.
Yeah, absolutely.
Full circle.
Thank you so very much, guys. We got to support this. Everybody, don't forget to get your tickets. A lot of his stuff is free, of course. It's happening Wednesday, July 31st through Sunday, August 4th at the TCL Chinese Theater right here in Hollywood, Califas. And you can go out there and check out these amazing films and these writers, directors, producers, grippers, all the youth they're going to be showing.
Latinofilm.org.
And you guys can follow them on social media at
La Leaf and at the Youth Cinema Project.
All right, there it is right there, man. Edward James Olmos, Raphael Agustin in the studio. Round of applause, everybody, please. It's an exclusive.
La Leaf.
Listen to this. Hit on. Orale.
Keep it going.
Where's my music, man?
You gotta get the music.
Yeah.
When you got Eric, Nick on the line, you got the real good thing that's coming alive. It's hot, it's good, it's always true. It's here in LA for you. Eric Baka, Nick Baka, the Baka Brothers, yeah.
Radio how it's supposed to be heard. It's the Baka Boyz show.
What's going on? This is Drip.
Every day.